Hey, welcome to Cat's Bat Blog. I'm Cat, the one and only. Welcome to episode 3. I'm gonna jump right into it. Gonna jump into the world of Selena. Okay, the seductive, sexy Catwoman. So she's definitely a pretty popular character, not only in the movies, but in the TV shows, in the comics, in the games. She's pretty much there all the time. She's around Bruce all the time. She's around Dick Grayson. She has a kid later on down the road. So much going on with Selena. She's definitely one of the most popular characters, especially some of the female characters. She's kind of depicted, instead of an adversary or a hero, she's kind of both, and comes together and calls herself an anti-hero. She's not always bad, but she's not always good. When it comes to Bruce or Batman, she kind of turns her back and goes the other way and just decides to not do whatever she was planning on doing. But when it comes to like going up against Joker or any of the other male characters, especially like Harvey Dent, things like that, she teams up with Bats and either takes them out or helps him get away or whatever the case may be. So she's definitely one of the most popular characters, other than the direct Bat family. Even though she's considered to be part of the Bat family, she's kind of the outsider. She doesn't really belong, but they kind of know, sort of, they can trust her. So I really don't know about that, but she's definitely a love interest of Bruce. She has kissed him, of course, on multiple occasions. They, of course, in the movies and things like that, they show a little bit more of a deeper love connection, and they between Bruce and Selena, not necessarily Batman and Catwoman. But she's definitely a major character in the shows, comics, and everything. She was created by Bob Kane and Bill Finger in 1940s, and they introduced her into the Batman series in Batman #1. Some of her aliases are, of course, Selena Kyle. She's known, of course, throughout the DC universe as Catwoman. And then also the Cat. So she kind of just shortened it down there. She's definitely known throughout the universe, not only by, of course, Batman and all of the other, rogues of Gotham, and, of course, other heroes such as, Helena, Nightwing, Robin. Pretty much everybody knows her or of her. The way you can describe her is a whip-wielding cat burglar who has a taste for high-stakes thefts. She doesn't go after the petty little, steal your purse on the sidewalk. She goes for, like, Bruce Wayne's mother's pearls. She goes for the cat's eye diamonds. She goes for high-priced cat idols from Egypt. She doesn't go for little petty things. She's a high-stakes thief. She doesn't do it for little to nothing. If she's going to do it, she's going to get paid. She has been employed by Daggett. She's been employed by Joker. She's been employed by Harvey Dent. She's been employed by the Falcones, the Maronis. She's been employed by a lot of the major rogues or mafia or mob groups of Gotham. So that way they know that she can get in, get out, and then she can get paid and get on her way. She's almost like a merc in a way, but she's a very high-paid merc. She definitely doesn't go and do anything for free, unless you're Bruce Wayne, but that's another story. We normally see her dressed up in her typical cat suit. Her cat suit is almost looks like a skin-tight bodysuit. Some of it, like in The Dark Knight Rises, kind of looked like a mix between like a carbon fiber Kevlar cat suit, so it was at least gave her a little bit of protection. And then she, of course, had her goggles, who turned into her cat ears, also to conceal her identity, and also be night vision, so that way she can see. It's infrared, and it also had night vision, so she could see at night. So she had a little bit of an advantage, even though Bruce Wayne or Batman does have that same ability built into his cowl. That kind of levels the playing field for them, because they both use the night. They're both agile, and they both use that kind of a little bit of a technology advantage to their either enemies or common enemies, or whatever the case may be, whether she needs to see where laser lines are so that way she can avoid them, to where she can make sure she's not going to get attacked on her way out or in. On most variations of her cat suit, she does have these like really badass like metal claws that are retractable like a cat. So that way it'll allow her to scale buildings. She can grab on to ledges and crawl across and kind of shimmy across, so that way she can get to places that you normally wouldn't be able to do. She is a very, very, very skilled gymnast, so that does add to her ability to, leap up and do backflips and flip into windows and up on balconies and fire escapes and things like that. So she is, a lot of her variations, even in the cartoons, had like some sort of claw attached to her hands or her suit, so that way she could definitely be a little bit more of a threat in that way. If she has ways of getting out that you can't. She also uses caltrops as an anti-personal weapon. She lays them out. They kind of look like jacks. She lays them out that way. If you step on them, they are very, very sharp, and it will stop you from getting near her. And then she also uses her bolas. Bolas are two large metal balls. I said metal balls. That are attached with a very thick rope or nylon type device. It's normally probably about 1 foot to 2 feet in length, depending on how much. And she spins them around together and throws them, and it wraps around the target, whether it be your ankles, your waist, your head, whatever the case, whatever she's aiming for, that way to disengage you, and she can either haul ass and get away, or she can pounce on you and go to town on your face with her claws. So she has those main weapons, and of course, we all know that she has either like a cat of 9 tails or a bullwhip. So she kind of uses that as like an extension of herself, and for balance, I guess she can in Batman Arkham City. When you play as Catwoman, she uses her whip to go between buildings. And it allows her to, like I said, portray herself and go a little bit further and have a reach, and she has that distance. So she can take you down with her bolas, she can prevent you from getting close to her. She's all about keeping you away from her, but if you do, she is very, very skilled in close quarter combats and hand-to-hand combat. She's very, very skilled in martial arts. She used to train with Bruce, so you know that Bruce put her to the test, and she definitely knows how to fight, and she doesn't fight like a girl. There have been many to attempt to portray the wonderful role of Catwoman, but to portray someone as important as her is really as important as casting the role for Batman, because she is a major love interest, she's a major adversary, and she can be a major ally. So she's definitely an important character to cast, and when you choose somebody to play as her, you gotta be sexy, you gotta be sneaky, and you also gotta be kind of mischievous. She's gotta be able to think on her feet, and you gotta be able to portray that. Julie Newmar was the first live-action Catwoman. She was the first introduction of her, and she did that really sexy, sultry kind of, she used her sex appeal to get to Bruce and Dick. So she knew how to portray Catwoman. She didn't do that great outside of the role of Catwoman. Didn't see a whole lot of her, but she did do a knockout job during the first 2 seasons of the 1966 Batman series. We had Eartha Kitt for season 3. She wasn't as well known as Julie to being Catwoman, but she did do a decent job for the final season, and of course the series did end shortly after her appearance as Catwoman. We also have, of course, the Batman the Animated Series. She was in quite a few episodes, had her own episodes as well. The Cat and the Claw with her versus Red Claw, which was a pretty epic series. She was also in Birds of Prey. She's in Batman Brave and the Bold. She's in Arkham City. She's in a lot of things, and she was also in the comic series Battle for the Cowl, which is a 3-part series. It's a fantastic read. If you haven't read it, I definitely would read it. I actually got it back there in my comics collection right now. It's on my to-read list. I've read the first 2. I'm looking for the 3rd one. But if you haven't read it, read it. It's really good. So she's definitely portrayed in a lot of comics, games, movies, TVs. So the next thing that she's most recognizable of, and I think we all kind of roll our eyes at this, is the standalone movie Catwoman that came out in 2004 with the lovely Halle Berry. First off, I want to say I love Halle Berry as an actress. I think she's a very, very talented actress, but the movie was a complete failure. It was a box office flop. She did a good job, but the way that they portrayed her and made her out to be, it was nothing like the characters that we'd see on TV or have read in the comics or have seen in the movies or anything like that. It was kind of just an off the wall thing. She didn't even really do a whole lot that Catwoman did. So it kind of threw everybody off, and it was just a big steamy pile of poop, and it was just like, shoo, go away. A lot of people do know Michelle Pfeiffer as the Catwoman in Tim Burton's variation of Catwoman. Tim Burton being probably one of my all-time favorite directors. I've seen everything that he has made. Only Catwoman in his universe would get her powers and the crazy Catwomanness from a cat gnawing on your face. Only his dark, twisted mentality could that kind of Catwoman come to life. And of course the hand-stitched leather, shiny black leather suit, you know, and of course Danny DeVito as the Penguin. I can't see anyone else as the Penguin except for him. He's perfect. But her cat suit is definitely pretty symbolic. It's in a lot of like the Hollywood cafes that are around here, Planet Hollywood, things like that. So she's that cat suit is definitely a big one. Of course, we all know the most recent variation of Catwoman in the 2012 movie The Dark Knight Returns as the lovely Anne Hathaway. Now, I will admit, I was kind of sort of skeptical about Anne Hathaway being Catwoman. I was one of those people that was going, oh, she's going to be a terrible Catwoman. She's not the right type of attitude. She doesn't know the role. She doesn't have the right features. But the way that Nolan brought her to be, the way that they made her character act, the way they made her character do, how she was going behind Bruce's back and working for Daggett so that way they could take down Bruce, and you know, it was definitely a really, really great storyline of her. So you kind of get introduced to her and see how she met Bruce and how she was come to be and how they ended up teaming up and working together and everything like that. So kudos, Anne Hathaway. If you're watching this, you get my thumb up. So I definitely was, like I said, I was really skeptical, but she really pulled through, and she's definitely by far, hands down, my seal of approval, the best Catwoman ever. If you have another opinion, there's that comment box right down there. Let me know who you think is the best Catwoman. The teams that we can definitely associate her with, like I said in the beginning, she's part of the Bat family or the Batman family, because she is an anti-hero. She's not quite a hero, she's not quite a bad guy, she doesn't know what the hell she wants to do, so she's just both. She likes to steal shit, she's not going to change that, and Bruce knows that, but she doesn't kill like he does, so she does have a lot of the same tendencies as him, so that way they can team up and take down the bad guy and all lovey-dovey crap. She's also, yet again, another member of the Secret Society of Supervillains, because, like I said, she's not quite a good guy. She will quickly turn on Bruce and anybody in the Bat family, especially Barbara and Dick, because they just never trusted her ever, period. She's also part of the Injustice League, and surprisingly, she was inducted into the Hall of Justice, so she is an official Justice League of America member. She's also part of the Birds of Prey with Huntress and Black Canary. We can see that in the animated series Birds of Prey, and also in Brave and the Bold, I'm sorry. So we do see a lot of cats. If you want to hear more, or if you have any other questions, please don't feel feel free to please send me messages. I absolutely love hearing from you guys. It makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside. So please also go ahead and click this box right here. It's going to send you a link right to my Facebook page. So please go ahead and like it. That way you can stay up to date and see when the next videos are going to be coming out. I try and put them out every Thursday. So if I do get this out today, it would be amazing. But thanks for watching. Once again, thanks for being fans of the Bat, and we'll catch you later.